what I want.
Get the fuck out of my way.
Do what I want.
Need to get all over here. All right, folks. There's a couple of issues that I want to talk through. And it's like we're going to relate this to how you're drawing. It'll give you some cues to pay attention to so we can do a better job on the drill. So first, I want to talk about setting the pressures when you draw. Watch me. I'll make it pretty obvious type of examples here. All right, so watching just the way I drew the gun, the way I did everything, how do you think the pressure was in my dominant hand?
Super high. Too much.
Yeah, it was way too much. You could see I'm like, oh my God, like throw my whole arm down. And what we'll see associated with over tense or like setting the pressure over tense, it will be somebody pushing down a lot onto the holster. I mean, it's difficult to not do this if you're defeating a retention device, but even in that case, ideally what it looks like is your hand comes up and just snatches the gun from the holster. The cue that I focus on is I'm just feeling for this spot on my thumb to be wrapped around the gun. So that indicates I have the right hand position, and then I'm going to pull the gun from the holster. So it's an easy habit to get into, but try to avoid the grinding down or pushing down on the gun while it's in the holster, because again, you're setting the pressure when you're drawing, whether or not you're really conscious of it. So you want to be careful how you do it. All right, I'll make another example for you here. Watch close. All right, what the hell happened there?
You had to re-grip. You're milking the gun when you came out?
Yeah, so you saw when I came up, I did it the other way. I came out, I set the pressure super light with my dominant hand. Then as I started to feel the recoil, my hands like you could see my grip is changing as I'm going along. Again, I set the pressure, but I set it wrong. I went way too light with it initially. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. All right, now let's watch again. I'll do one that I judge as correct. All right, you just saw no shift there, right? No shift. The gun came up. There was no shift in my upper body. It didn't look over tense, under tense, nothing. All right, that's something to pay attention to. So again, when you're drawing, you're setting the pressures. I would focus on just feel my hand in the right position on the gun, draw it out, and then firmly grasp it, not crush down on it, connect my support hand to it, and so on. All right, let's use this got another target here. All right, now I want to talk about the visual part of this. Now, if I'm up here if I was doing the same drill as you on the line, you'd see me doing this in between start beeps. So what I'm doing is staring at the white, drawing the gun, and bringing the red right up to the white without shifting my attention onto the red. Right, that's hard to do. Check this out. What'd you see there? Yeah, so you just saw the slightest shift in my head. Yep. And what I did, as soon as I became aware of red about here, I just shifted down and followed the red up. Let me show you what a couple of these things look like when I'm shooting live ammo. All right, so look at where the hit's patterned on the target. What happened there is so I drew the gun, gun's coming up, I see red, I have that demeanor change where yep, there's the red. And then the first pair, so first shot went right where I wanted, then I followed the dot up for the second round ended up high, and then they tracked back in as I got my eye onto the reference. This mistake was made on the way up. Everybody tracking that? All right, again, what we want here is that nothing is moving extra. You don't see a shift in your head or anything like that. A good performance on this is going to have minimal motion from the rest of your body. So, here we go. You see minimum stuff moving. Does that, again, make sense to everyone? Yeah. Now take advantage of the time you have up here with Joel's jaw jacking at somebody. Do a couple of dry reps and just pay attention. How am I setting the pressure? What am I doing with my eyes exactly? Because you're kind of setting yourself up for success on this drill. Sound good? You don't, Joel's got nothing. He doesn't want it.
No, I mean, you should be, we've talked a lot about habits. I've been jaw jacking at a bunch of you guys about habits. because, well, I won't point at anybody, I guess. I thought about it. You observe, like, when you draw the gun, you have one behavior, something you don't like, and then it just creates a chain reaction to other bad things. So, for example, drawing, it's like somebody's shoulders or like the tension, like what Ben was saying, comes up, and then after that, a whole bunch of problems. Or you draw and get one thing, it's like, hey, it seems pretty good until the gun starts to fire, and then all of a sudden there's a demeanor change, and we see like reposition your hands, the grip. It's like, oh, it's all good in the hood until the gun starts going off and the gun's actually kicking, and then you realize like your habits have not been to grip the gun super hard, and you're not used to in your dry fire training behaving like the gun's going to go off. There's like a handful of you guys all right now like, yep, that's me. So that's really good. So you just get those observations from shooting this live ammo, and that's what you're gonna have to take back to your dry fire training to change your habits. And so you notice a lot of you, just off the draw, there's some problem that starts that then just carries through like the entire drill. Something you did or something you didn't do or something you tried too hard on maybe, like too much effort, trying to grip too much, trying to stop the gun from recoiling.
Yeah.
All just looking to change your habits.
Okay, let's get back to it, guys.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do from the green line. We'll do the full drill. Can you give me your mic?
Oh.